Hey, this is Elektron, and I'm going to show you how to make this future bass sound. And we're going to do this with Alchemy. And a couple cool things about this sound is that you can totally modulate it if you just like tweak a couple knobs that I will go through and show you. So if we tweak the sync knob, we can do some things like that. Make it real fast. Make it even faster. And we're going to be using Alchemy, like I already said. And of course, I'm going to leave this sound in the description for you guys to go ahead and snatch up if you don't feel like following along and making it yourself. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. You're going to need a software instrument track. Let's turn off these buses because I'm going to add my own reverb. And I'm going to go into Alchemy here and start up good old Alchemy. Now I know that Alchemy is one of the more confusing interfaces to really look at, but it's actually not that difficult. If you come up here to Advanced, we're going to go over here to File and go to Clear, and then we'll get a nice default setting. Working with a synthesizer that's not in a default setting when you're trying to get a completely new sound is like hell. So first thing you want to do when you're designing your sounds is start off on a default setting. And if you can remember back to the days when there was no such thing as a virtual analog synthesizer and when all they had was like hardware, could you imagine like there's no default setting? I just realized that. Like if you had like a Prophet 8 or something, one of those old synthesizers, and you wanted to default the setting, there's no way you could do that. That's hell. Crazy. Anyway, without rambling too much, we're going to go over here to A. And you're going to make the volume thing go straight up and down because Alchemy likes to stuff its volume a little heavy when we go into the unison. So I'm also going to go to B and get us ready by putting B's volume knob straight up and down. I'm going to go ahead and turn B on because B was actually off. So I'm going to go back to A, and what we're going to do is we're going to stuff some unison up to 8 voices of unison here, and I'm going to pull down the detune knob to like that much, 7%. And then we're going to go over to B, and we're going to put this up an octave. Why? Because we want this sound to have 2 octaves instead of 1. Octaves aren't those things where 2 different octaves is better than 1 all the time. Most of the time I find that 1 octave in a sound is the easiest to work with, but in this case we're going to use 2 octaves because it's going to give us the sound that we're going for. Okay, so thus far we should have a sound that sounds like this. Here's my chords that I already have out here, some beautiful chords that I actually took from one of you guys who sent me a awesome project that I can't wait to make a video on. Gorgeous. Let's go into here. Let's go into the global tab because now we have to make it do the wub wub. You know what I'm talking about? So we have our cutoff knob here that's already engaged. Cool part about Alchemy is you don't have to turn the filter on. It's already on, but it's wide open. So you can do things like this. But instead of just, having to click it and open it and close it manually, we want to get a LFO or a low frequency oscillator to turn that for us so we don't got to do the dirty work, which is opening and closing that knob all day with our finger. That would hurt eventually, I would think. So let's go to this knob here, right click, add modulation, and then we're going to add a new LFO. You could use the original LFO I don't actually know why I chose the new one there, but either way, it's okay, because if we play it, we're gonna get this. We're already a step farther into what we're trying to make here. So let's show you some cool things that you can do with the sound. I like to make this depth here, which is this yellow ring around this knob. It's the depth, and if you click on this knob, the depth controls show up here. Now I want you to notice something really cool, or something like kind of annoying if you have no idea how to work Alchemy. So look, this depth knob controls a lot here. It controls how soft or hard this is actually modulating the LFO signal. However, watch what happens when I click this volume knob. It's gone. Totally gone. That was like, I literally went on a scavenger hunt one day to find that depth knob because I knew I've seen it before, but it wasn't there. And I had no idea that you just had to click the knob that you wanted to show up here, and it freaking shows up. Insane. That like drove me nuts one day. So watch this. Let's go up to 8, 1/8 rate. That is so beautiful. I love the chords and I love the sound. Now watch what happens when we strengthen up the filter. So anytime you have a low pass filter and there's always a number associated with it, usually it's in decibels, and it'll say something like 6 decibel filter, 12 decibel, 24, 48, 64, 72, and 96. I think the higher the number, the stronger the filter. And usually the first filter given to you in a default setting will be the weakest filter. Usually, not all the time. So if we go to a stronger filter, that means more of a higher cutoff is going to be happening here. So that one's so strong that it actually sounds like a natural resonance. So I wouldn't go with something like that. Really awesome. Let me show you other cool things you can do with this. If we go to a sample delay, we're going to spread it. So watch this. So if you have vocals over something like this, you would add one of these to spread these out of the way of the vocals. Another cool thing, obviously, is reverb. And a cool reverb that I found with wobbly sounds is small reverbs. So if we go to small spaces and go to rooms, any of these just sound absolutely beautiful. And right there you have a beautiful sound. Forgot to fix B up to sound right. So there we go. That's how to make one of the most popular future bass sounds I've ever heard, because I hear it in like a lot of future bass tracks. Louis the Child Fire is a great representation of a track that uses this exact sound here. So if you want to go check that out, you'll see for yourself that, yeah, it's a pretty cool future bass sound that future bass artists like to use. So my name is Alex Jerome. If you took any value from this video, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And you could subscribe to my channel as well. I'd appreciate that too. Until next time, stay tuned for some more awesome stuff.